This is Pocket Watching with JT, the call-in financial talk show focused on helping you get your money right. Jayson Thornton is a certified financial planner, licensed in both tax and investments. Now, this is not personal financial advice. This is JT's real reaction to all your money and business questions. Are you deep in debt, living paycheck to paycheck, and looking for a way out? Call Pocket Watching with JT, the financial advisor for the people. Need more? Book your personal consultation with my man JT at pocketwatcher.net. Now, let's go Pocket Watching.
Hey, Pocket Watchers, welcome to Pocket Watching with JT. I am certified financial planner Jayson Thornton. I am a financial advisor that specializes in tax and wealth planning for my clients. But on YouTube, I react to bad financial advice, scammer news, and your money questions. Big shout out to the over 89,000 of you who have subscribed to the channel. I appreciate that. Hit the like button, share the content. If you haven't subscribed already, I don't know what you're waiting for. We are slowly getting to our 100,000 subscriber goal. Help me out. Hit the subscribe button and share. All right, tonight, let's get straight into it. Tonight, what are we talking about tonight? Tonight, we're going to have a conversation about these two fellas right here. All right? If you're new to the content, then you may be unaware, but I've covered these guys in the past a while ago. But I think it's important to talk about it again since they're in the news again because they have been demonetized by YouTube. Now, what does it mean to be demonetized for those of you who are unaware? I mean, they still have their YouTube channel. What it means is that they can no longer receive ad revenue from YouTube. See, when you are a partner with YouTube, you make content, they find advertisers for your content, and you split the money between you and YouTube. It's a partnership. Also, when you have a following and your following wants to show your content support, they can give money through super chats and donations and stuff like that. It goes through YouTube and gets to the content creator. But because they have been demonetized, all of that goes away. Now, I'm going to get to that money part at the end. Right now, I want to focus on the title of tonight's show. Tonight's show is Fresh and Fit Demonetized, the Fall of Fake Guru Life Coaches. Now, I know some of you out there, some of you are saying, JT, well, Fresh and Fit, they're not fake gurus. They're not like the guys that you normally do a show about. I mean, they're not financial influencers selling courses. They're the host of the #1 men's podcast in the world. That's what they say on their website. The #1 men's podcast in the world. They're the host. Why are you calling them fake gurus? All right, well, give me a minute. Let's have some fun tonight. When I'm done, I'm going to pull up the link. You guys can call into the show. You can let me know where I went right, where I went wrong. We can have a conversation. But in my view, Fresh and Fit are playing the same set of rules that all other fake gurus do. Give me a minute and I'll show you guys what I'm talking about here. So, what am I saying by fake gurus, right? Right here, this is my checklist. This is the checklist that I normally use to determine if someone is a fake guru or not. This is the criteria. A fake guru is going to be someone who falsely claims to be an expert in something. Falsely claim. Why are they falsely claiming? Because to be a true expert, it takes years of study and practice. Meaning, you can't wake up one day and decide, I'm an expert in something. It takes time and hard work to develop the skill set and the experience to be a true expert. You cannot be an expert in something in 1 year. It takes time. So in general, all fake gurus are going to be someone, some guy, some girl. They are falsely claiming to be an expert. That's going to be number one. Number two, they create fake social proof. Now, there's various ways that a fake guru will make fake social proof. I'm going to highlight two tonight. Number one, fake gurus, they like to tell these unrealistic personal stories. Let me give you an example. I have heard with my own ears and seen with my own eyes through these very thick glasses. I've heard and seen fake gurus tell personal stories that are super unrealistic like this. I was able to turn $300 into $3 million in a year, right? I've heard crazy stories like that. Now, they have absolutely no proof. They provide no documentation. They just talk. They just say these things, but their audience believes them. This is a way to create social proof. They'll tell an unrealistic story, how they came from nothing, even less than maybe what you have. And through some crazy process that they came up with, maybe they discovered it, whatever it is, they came across some process from going from nothing to some amazing result. That's the unrealistic story that fake gurus tell. Another way that fake gurus provide, fake social proof is they just come out with press releases. Now, for those of you who are uninitiated and you don't know what I'm talking about, fake gurus, when you Google their name, they want something positive to pop up. They want to be able to point to something and say, hey, look, I'm somebody. Look, I'm in these big websites and magazines. Look. But if you actually look, which most of you don't do, most of you don't actually go and read the articles that they link to in their bio. You just see the picture that it says Forbes on top or Yahoo Finance. That's all you see, and you keep it moving because you probably have a real life. You do not earn your living by grifting people online. You have stuff that you actually have to do, so you don't really read these articles. But if you would read the article, you would find out that these are not real news stories. These are paid for press releases. Anyone in the world can pay between $80, on the high end, maybe $1,000. You can pay to have a press release ran by all of these big news outlets, and you too will look very impressive to a person who's most likely never going to read the full article. That's creating fake social proof, and almost 99.999% of fake gurus, they do the press release grift. Then finally, we're going to take a look at point number three. Point number three is they sell an overpriced course that doesn't actually work. All right, so we got it. Point 1, 2, and 3. That's what we're looking at. All right, let's get to work here. Let's take a look at this. All right. So, what about fresh and fit? How do they fit on the spectrum? Well, if we look right here, we see now all of this is going to come from their own sources. I'm not making anything up. This is going to come from their sources. So when we take a look at this, we see Fresh and Fit, the #1 man's podcast in the world. In the world, okay? They say, welcome to Fresh and Fit, the #1 man's self-improvement podcast in the world. We provide the truth to men on females, finance, and fitness. That's what they do. Based on their own language, that's what they do. So I'm assuming these two gentlemen are experts in females, finance, and fitness. Not that hard. Not that hard to see. So let's take a look and see what we got here. Now, once again, all of this comes directly from these two guys. This comes from them. So let's take a look at what they say about themselves. Now, I cannot pronounce this gentleman's real first name, so I'm going to go by his alias, Myron Gaines. So Myron is an author, a real estate investor, prior to entrepreneurship, so before starting the podcast. So let's be clear. The podcast is really his self-employment. Before the podcast, there wasn't really self-employment. He goes into this pretty deep when he talks about being someone who was an agent for Homeland Security, then the podcast. Wasn't a whole lot of business deals going on between those two things. So it's Homeland Security, podcast. So before Homeland Security, before the podcast, he was working as a special agent. Got it. And he holds a degree in criminal justice from Northeast University in Boston. Now, when I read through his own bio, I don't really see any type of expertise in these three things. Now, he's got a degree in criminal justice. Shout out. He worked as a special agent, Homeland Security. All right. But what does that have to do with any kind of expertise in females, finance, and fitness? Maybe we'll see something later. So that's Myron. Now let's take a look at Walter Weeks. Fresh. Walter. Now this is, once again, coming directly from his own LinkedIn page. This is information he's providing to the public about himself. Walter, let's see what Walter's credentials are. Walter's work experience prior to the podcast was customer service jobs. Customer service with Wix, website company. Customer service with some insurance group. And customer service with some, looks like a telecommunications company. Customer service. His education is, he has an associate's degree in computer science. Great credentials for someone who is in the field or may claim to be an expert in computer science, but I don't see females, finance, and fitness. I don't quite see that. Now, what I am about to show you guys is that there was someone who had an interaction with Myron Gaines before you knew who Myron Gaines was. See, this always happens to fake gurus. Their past catches up with them. You're about to hear from someone who knew him before he had the podcast, before he was, Mr. Fresh and Fit. Let's see who Myron was before the fame and the glory that was brought by YouTube. Let's see what he actually has to say about this.
Here we have contact us. Want to do a live coaching session with John Anthony in Miami. Okay, here it is from Myron. Email the great Lord Gaines at gmail.com. I blocked out his phone number out of courtesy. Want to do a live coaching session with John Anthony in Miami. Hey, John, Cliff Notes so I don't waste time. My IG is Unplugged Fit. Okay, now it's fresh and fit. I'm an intermediate. Here he is, self-proclaimed intermediate, not advanced. Now, I love this part, since guys keep saying that MYRON and in Modern Life Dating are claiming to slam 9s and 10s in Miami, which is full BS. Women, my quality varies between 4 and 8. The girls he's banging are between a 4 and an 8. First of all, with an upper limit of 8, you're not banging 9s and 10s. Okay, and you guys might say, oh, this is from 2019. Okay, not that long ago. Okay, a year and a half ago. I'm looking to go out with someone better than me for a night session that can actually teach me something. I'm trying to become a master, and my current circle, I assume he's referring to the Red Pill crew, has no fucking clue. And then here we have a screenshot where I was typing to Alex from Playing with Fire. I said, what's the deal with that MYRON dude? Alex, like, what about him? I'm like, seems like a weirdo. Are you guys close friends? Not close. Sends all these weird messages. And then he's like, I've gone out with him a few times. Just blocked him today. And I said, and then he said, show me. He keeps saying all this weird stuff. And then Alex, like, he's a nice guy, but annoying. I stopped going out with him because he would complain a lot. It got annoying. He's manosphere diluted. So kind of the message here is you guys need to be careful, okay? MYRON Gaines is not an expert on fitness or fucking dating or business, okay? These guys are good at going to other people that are talking about different things and then repackaging the content. They're both doing the exact same thing. They're both huge grifters. They're just product copycat machines. Okay, and I've talked to people that know them very well, and these guys just had the idea a couple years ago, oh, why don't we just pretend to be experts and come in and charge people a lot of money?
All right, so I just want to be clear here. That email that allegedly MYRON Gaines sent was July the 27th, 2019. That's like 6 months before he starts the podcast. He's going to this guy who apparently is an established dating coach. Like he's in the dating coach industry. He's going to this guy, the guy you just saw on the screen. He's going to him for dating advice. I thought you were the expert in females. But 6 months before starting the podcast that you're an expert in females, you're reaching out for help with females. See, the reason why Fresh and Fit are able to get such a strong audience of incels and guys who have problem with women is because they are their own audience. They know how to grift these guys because they are those guys, right? So, all right. So let's just make sure we're keeping score here. Let's keep score here. So, when we take a look at the checklist, falsely claim to be experts, I think we get that. We get a check mark on that one. So let's go to point number 2. Point number 2 is create fake social proof. You have to be able to convince your audience that you are who you say you are, right? I mean, it's one thing to say it, but even the slowest person in the world, they're going to want to hear exactly why they should go in their pockets and give you money, right? Why should they actually do business with you beyond you just saying that you're an expert? So you got to create some kind of fake social proof. All right. So here we go. I'm going to show you guys some fake social proof. Now, remember, we have the unrealistic story and we have the fake press release. So I want you guys to check this out, the unrealistic story.
In terms of having 3 women in one day. Now, it sounds crazy, right? But I was kind of foreign to this idea of having multiple girls in one day because I felt, do the right thing, do the good thing, have one girl I'm talking to, and that's it. But I met this guy at a pool party. He's an NBA player. I won't say his name for some reasons, but, he's a pretty top-tier guy, high-value guy, right? I'm at the bar ordering drinks for my friends, and he says, yo, bro, what's a good spot to go party at tonight? I told him, look, bro, you can go downtown, you can go to Brickell, Wynwood, doesn't really matter. but I'm going to downtown because it's a really good spot. And then he's like, yo, bro, are you on Instagram? I was like, perfect. Yeah, I am. So I give him my Instagram, and lo and behold, he followed me. He said, wait, you know this chick? So he posted this girl's profile, because you can see who's following someone that you just added from like the following list. I was like, yeah, I know her, bro. I used to like do her back in the day. He's like, damn, that's my shorty want to come in town. So basically, we were smashing the same chick. So he's like, yo, dude, you know what? I'm having a mansion party like the next day. Come through, I got you. All this time, you know, we linked up the same night at the party spot I was going to. We connected. And funny enough, we dated the same girls, like a bunch of them. It was crazy, you know. Like we always say, me and Myron, a lot of these girls share the same high value men and they're around in the same circles, right? I'm at his mansion party, right? There's like 40 girls and like 5 guys. In my head, I'm like, yo, real talk, this is crazy. Like I've never been at a party where there's been this much girls compared to guys. So I'm like, yo, how's this gonna work? He says to me, yo, come through, bro. So he's like, yo, pick 3 that you want and I got you. I was like, 3 that I want? Is it like a buffet? Shoot, I'll take it. So I was like, yo, I like her, and her. He goes, talks to them, calls them over, and I kid you not, I got a bedroom for you over here, do your thing. I'm like, what the heck? Is it that easy? So what happened was, like, I talked to them real quick, they were mad cool, and legit, guys, I could have a threesome with them, but I was like, yo, this is crazy. Like, I had no idea what was going on. I was like, yo, this is too much for me. But what happened was, I did my thing with one of them, came back outside, hopped in the shower real quick, talked to the other one, went back in the room later on. So basically, I had 3 girls in one night. It sounds crazy, guys, but there's a whole nother world outside of the regular dating circle where guys of high value can actually like set up certain things that regular guys can't. So translate that into like my own lifestyle. Now from Instagram, I say, you know what? I can have 3 in one day. Why can't I do it myself? Learning from Deals on Demand that you guys are gonna learn if you bought the course. We're gonna re-release it soon, coming up maybe like next month. That whole setup there can be done for yourself through Instagram or dating apps. Because for example, all it is a numbers game. So it's all about scale. So with Instagram, you could DM 100 chicks. Out of 100, let's say 10 hit you up. Boom, you can space out.
All right, hold on. Give me a second here. Now listen, I never claimed to be the smartest man in the world, okay? Listen, I say it all the time. I'm just a humble country financial advisor. That's all. I don't have some amazing IQ, you know. I'm just a country boy from St. Louis that went to business school. That's it. But when I heard that story, several questions popped in my mind. Here we go. Question number 1. He was at a pool party in Miami. At this pool party, he meets an NBA player. Okay. I can believe that. That's somewhat believable. Okay. He's in Miami at a pool party and he meets an NBA player. All right. This NBA player then comes up to him and he asks the question, where's the party? Remember, they're at a pool party. They're actually at a pool party at this moment. I'm assuming that there's females at the pool party. The NBA player swims around all the women at the pool party to swim up to Walter Weeks. He then asked Walter Weeks, what's the nightlife like? Where can I go to find a really good party? Okay. That seems a bit odd. He's at a party, looking for another party, and he's an NBA player. Listen, in my time as a financial advisor, I've had several different types of clients, some professional athletes. Professional athletes very rarely need to know where the party is. Because when you're a professional athlete, the party is where you are. Let me say that again. When you're a high profile professional athlete, and understand the NBA is not the NFL. In the NFL, you have 53 players on a team. Those 53 players wear helmets. If you're not a star quarterback, running back, wide receiver, one of the glamour positions in football, most people won't know who you are. You can walk by them at the store and all you'll think is, that's a big guy. You won't know who they are. The NBA is different. You kind of know who these guys are, right? You kind of know who these guys are. So when it comes down to trying to find a party, they are the party. Wherever they are, all they have to do is let people know we're here, and that's where the party is. So that part doesn't make sense to me. But let's keep going with this story because it's a fantastic story. So after Walter Weeks, the customer service specialist has to explain to an NBA player where the party is in a major city in the United States, Miami. He's not in Akron, Ohio. Okay. Now, if an NBA player ends up in Akron, Ohio, he might need to know where to go. Okay, I get that. They are in Miami. Okay. So then he tells them where the party is. Great. I guess they exchange information and they follow each other on Instagram. Okay. Follow each other on Instagram. When they follow each other, they discover that they have some mutual friends on Instagram. A particular young lady that the NBA player is having sexual relations with. All right, sexual relationships. Okay. Now remember, this NBA player doesn't know where the party is in Miami, but he has a dedicated girl that he meets up with in the city. All right, you lose a point for that because that doesn't make any damn sense. All right, but let's keep it going. Now, here's for the twist. This right here, this is like a curveball. After both Walter Weeks and the NBA player, after they discover that they're Eskimo brothers, the NBA player says, I'm having a mansion party later today. Why don't you come by? Well, hold on. Let me get this correct. The NBA player is at a pool party. He swims past all the women in bikinis to find the customer service specialist, Walter Weeks, to ask him where the party is. After Walter explains where the party will be later on that day, they exchange information. Upon discovering that they are both dating the same girl in Miami, the NBA player invites him to the mansion party that was already planned for the night. Listen, man, there's too many holes. There's too many holes in this story. Why would the NBA player come to you, ask you where the party is later that night, to only then invite you to the party that he is already has planned for the night? All right. Let's move past that. They then later find out that they date more than just one girl the same. Upon finding out this information, the NBA player says, listen, I'm going to hook you up with 3 girls. I thought he didn't know where the party was. All right, okay. So he then assigns 3 women to sleep with Walter as if he's like a pimp. Okay, didn't know where the party was, but he can just snap his fingers and get 3 women to sleep with the customer service specialist just like that. All right. Okay. Okay. Then Walter says, all right, he could have had them all 3 at one time, but he's a gentleman. He decided to do them one at a time. Okay. And this experience taught him that, you know what? I can do this on my own. Not only can I do this on my own without an NBA player's assistance, I can teach others to do this too. I'm more likely to believe that Walter Weeks was able to turn $300 into $3 million in 1 year than for me to believe this story. Come on, Walter. You're better than this. You're better than this. You have an associate's degree in computer science. You're better than this. All right. Okay. All right. All right. I got you. Now, not only do we have this unrealistic personal story, just ridiculous personal story, we also have some news stories here. Here we have Yahoo Finance. Walter Weeks, known as Fresh Prince CEO, created a much needed business to offer people advice on business and lifestyle tips to better their lives. Well, Walter, what business did you have before starting the business to teach other people business? Let's follow the logic. You started a business to teach other people how to run a successful business before you had a successful business. Seems a little odd. Yahoo Finance, I guess they were beating down your door to interview you. But when we actually take a look at this, we can see it is a press release. This is not an actual news story. It is a press release written by apparently VIP Media Group. Okay, is that the end of the press releases? No, of course not. Here's one that hurt my heart. The Source? The Source, listen, I was born in '83. The Source magazine has a special place in my heart. When I saw this, my heart broke a little bit. Now, let's pay attention to this. We have the Source magazine. The Source magazine says, Walter Weeks shares his journey to success in music. Now, I have a question for the chat. How many of you were aware that Walter Weeks is a rising pop star? I didn't know. See, I'm a cornball. I'm a financial advisor. I don't know these guys. I was unaware that Walter Weeks is a rising star in the music industry. I did not know this. If it wasn't for the Source magazine, would anyone know? Let's take a look. So according to the Source magazine, it says Walter Weeks is one of the fast rising names in the music industry. The young, talented singer from Atlanta, I thought you were from Barbados, all right, from Atlanta, is gradually establishing a name for himself in the highly competitive industry. Weeks is a renowned, hold on, renowned? Well, see, once again, I'm a numbers guy, but renowned, to me, renowned means people know you. You're known. To be renowned means you're known. No one knows this. But all right. Okay. Maybe I'm the one that's tripping. I'm tripping. Okay. Okay. Weeks is a renowned songwriter, singer, and music producer. He is a rare, raw talent with a magical sound. Broke my heart, Source. You broke my heart, Source. Source, you listen, man. The Source magazine used to stand for something. Now you just taking money from anybody. All right, let's keep it going. AllHipHop.com. AllHipHop.com. Walter Weeks, a fast rising talent in the music industry. At the age of 20, have you seen Walter's face? No shot at Walter. Listen. I'm not winning any beauty pageants, but Walter, your face, that face doesn't say 20. That face has some years on it. I don't believe it. I've got to see a birth certificate. 20? All right, okay. All right, I'm the bad guy. All right. At the age of 20, Walter Weeks is already establishing a name for himself in the highly competitive music scene. Once again, a songwriter, a singer, and record producer, Weeks is moving many in the industry with his unique and raw musical talent. His lyrical prowess and captivating songs have helped him build his reputation, and he is steadily gaining massive traction among music enthusiasts across many U.S. states. This sounds as if it was written by some Indian fellow that you hired on Fiverr. This isn't how, we don't speak like this. This may be AI. I don't know what it is, but this is not a human whose English is their first language writing this. Oh, hiphop.com. Once again, I'm disappointed. It's not over. He's had other publications. He's had Now Entertainment Magazine, Music Times, and Daily Scanner. All right. Let's take a look at our checklist again. Let's keep score. Falsely claim to be experts. Got that. Create fake social proof. Tell unrealistic personal stories. Fake news press releases. All right. 2 down, 1 to go. All right. So sell overpriced courses that do not work. All right. Let's take a look at this one. Apparently, Fresh and Fit do have a few courses. They have DMs on demands, and they have High Value Academy. DMs on demand says, learn how to use social media to get what you want out of life. Women, like-minded individuals, and potential business partners. All right. This is somewhat interesting. Let's take a look at someone who did a deeper dive into DMs on demand. Let's just take a look and see what he found.
realizing how big of clowns Walter and Myron are, even though it's been obvious for months. The only way left for the normal guy to become a high-value man, fresh and fit, giving away their jealousy-guarded secrets for scoring 9s and 10s and more in 2021 while increasing SMV. Are you seriously ready to pull 9s and 10s almost overnight? I'm Myron Gaines and my business partner Fresh CEO. We're two guys pulling girls in one of the most competitive markets, Miami, Florida. We run a podcast helping men how to navigate the current sexual market. Our lay count is over the 3 figures.
I love you. I love you.
It's likely you've never heard of us though. We've been content to keep a pretty low profile and remain behind the scenes. These guys have a product called DMs on Demand, which is going to show you how to DM the most beautiful women in your city and get them on dates. When I fixed my profile and tapped into that hidden 10% of guys who have status and game, I had the women I dreamed about. The women that I previously thought were way out of my league were now messaging me to hang out with them. The women that once rejected me for not being interesting and having a high value lifestyle now wanted to be friends with me. And the women who are attracted to the top 10% of guys were now begging me for alone time together. It's funny that the screenshots proving that this system works includes what is insinuated to be Myron's DM inbox, which no proof is provided, so that's flaw number 1. Flaw number 2 is that blue checkmark girls are not DMing a guy like Myron who has very little clout in the social media world. Flaw number 3 is that I've never seen an inbox look like this. Flaw number 4 is the dates don't align. From top to bottom, the dates are 14 hours, 3 weeks, 8 weeks, 1 week, and 1 week. They aren't even in chronological order, so clearly this is a fake image.
Even the sample DMs for the course that you're supposed to get DMs on demand, meaning IG models are going to all of a sudden, based on you doing this course and doing what they tell you to do, IG models are going to all of a sudden start DMing guys who live in the basement of their parents' homes. DMs on demand. Even the screenshots of the proof that it works, Spencer showed, don't make sense. Like, I mean, why do I have to do this? Why do I have to do this? It speaks for itself. But I'm almost done. And then I'm going to drop the link in the chat. You guys can call in. Maybe I missed something. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't think I am. But maybe I'm wrong. And you guys can correct me. But let's go back here and let's keep track of exactly where we are on the scoreboard. So here we go. I know we had 1 and 2, and now I think we can safely say we have number 3. 1, falsely claim to be experts. 2, create fake social proof. 3, sell overpriced courses that do not work. When you put this all together, what do you have? You have bad business. This is what leads me to why they got demonetized. They were demonetized because of bad business. Let me show you guys something. This is important. Look at the numbers they were pulling before they got demonetized. Here's Fresh and Fit now. The website Playboard gives us somewhat accurate numbers on the type of money that live streamers pull in from SUPERCHATS. During the time that these guys have been on YouTube, they were able to pull in over $1.5 million in SUPERCHATS. This is not the money that they get for ads on their content. This is money that they received directly from their audience, just donating to the show. Over $1.5 million. The question that you should be asking yourself is, how can men who claim to be experts in fitness, finance, and females, how can they fumble a bag like this? Walter Weeks claims that he counsels and consults with people of how to better run their business. Maybe he should focus on running his own business and he would not fumble a $1.5 million bag like the way that they did. But hold on. Just want to show you guys something. So let's take a look at this. Ever since they've been demonetized, and these are numbers based on today. Ever since they've been demonetized, you can see today's number, $0 earned. Yesterday's number, $0 earned. And $17 since the last time they've been able to make money from their channel. $1.5 million to $0. Why? Because of bad business. Bad business. Now, some of you may say, well, JT, that can happen to anybody. You know, anybody can get hit by YouTube. YouTube giveth and YouTube taketh away. It's not exactly how it works. See, when you are a partner with YouTube, they pretty much give you line by line what you can and cannot do. That's how partnerships work. When you break the agreement, then the partnership is over. Now, I want to show you guys a quick video about the business sense of Fresh and Fit, right? If you really want to see them in action, Walter particularly, I want you to see Walter in action of how good of a businessman Walter is.
You want to sell yourself or sell the water?
Myself.
Sell the water.
Sell the water?
Sell the water.
That doesn't have as much value as me, sir.
Sell the water.
Okay, sir, this water here, I wouldn't sell it over me. However, since you asked me, I will. This water here is very good for you. Has a lot of nutrients in it as well. However, at the same time, this water can be or not be.
You know anything about bees?
Not particularly, sir.
Just bought this property in Nashville, and bees are swarming the property, creating honey. Honey's running down the post at the office. And they wrote me and said, hey, we have a serious problem with honeybees. And then they didn't tell me what the solution is. What can you do for me, man?
I can do a number of
You
things,
sound
sir.
like a robot, dude, when you talk to me. Can you do sales, Jared?
No.
You look like a good guy. But everybody in here has been a good guy so far, except for the first two people I had to come across.
Now might be a good time to try to save yourself.
I mean, a bee makes more sense than you do right now.
Okay, currently, sir, I am developing my skills in sales. However,
We did a personality profile on you. Walter needs help with problem solving. What do I do about those bees?
first we need to research how to get rid of bees. And secondly, in
It
regard
says that he exudes ego strength and self-confidence. Do you see it?
small
How much money did you make last month?
$120.
$30 a week is what you made last month.
Yes, sir.
How much money do
I
you
mean,
make?
if you go to
I would-
McDonald's 3 times, you're
I would-
broke.
How
Doing the
much?
10x rule, I really would like to make 100,000.
Yeah.
My
No.
goal.
Why 100,000, dude?
Done.
I get paid.
You don't have whatever it takes. Not this team.
Okay, thank you.
Good luck to you, all right?
Thank you.
Okay. Good team. This is what every company in America is going through. We get worn out looking at resumes, so we end up hiring Walter. And then nobody shows up, man.
That's the business expert. That right there. That was your business expert. Now, I'm not even a fan of Grant Cardone. I think Grant Cardone is a grifter. But even in front of Grant Cardone, he looks horrible. Now, remember, he has the associate's degree in computer science, not business. So I am not expecting for him to be great at business. You want to know who is expecting for him to be great in business? The people who pay him for business advice. Fake guru. So here we go. I am dropping the link because I could have it wrong. Maybe it's me. Maybe it's me. I'm dropping the link to join the show. Real quick, all you have to do is hit that link and you can join the show. Now, you will not be on cam. So you don't have to worry about camming up. It's just going to be audio, but you can hit the link and we can have a conversation. But I just want to make my final point, right? My final one. I want you guys to pay attention to this. These are guys who claim to be experts in females, finance, and fitness. Now, when it comes to females, their biggest opposition for their business are females. I want you to pay attention here. These are guys who claim that they know how to manage, work with, and create strong relationships with women. But the biggest opposition, the thing that is keeping them from maintaining the lifestyle that they want, are women. I would imagine that people who are supposed to be experts in women wouldn't be their biggest opposition. So that doesn't quite make sense. Experts in finance. When you're getting what appears to be millions of dollars by just running your mouths online, you're probably not going to risk that bag by interviewing and palling around with people who your business partner already told you they don't like them. Just imagine this for a second. Let's say you and I, me and the person who's watching right now, we're business partners, 50-50, okay? And some guy runs up, hits me in the mouth one day, okay? I then yell at the guy, kick him out the office, never come back here again. Okay. I then show up to the office a couple of days later, and you're sitting with the guy, hee, ha, ha, laughing and giggling. How long do you think our partnership is going to last, right? Now imagine that you're making millions of dollars with this partnership with me. Would you even imagine having a conversation with the guy I kicked out of our office? If you did have a conversation, would you bring that conversation into my office? I mean, I don't know why I have to do this, but it is what it is. We have some people in the back. I'm going to bring you up. As I said, would just be audio, but I want to hear. Maybe I'm wrong. I think I'm right. We have Julian. We have Mr. Lewis as well. So Julian, you're coming up first. So let me get this all set up. Here you go. Julian, you are live on air. What's going on?
Man, you are absolutely right. I just found your show probably like a couple of days ago. I probably don't watch like 10 episodes, 20 episodes really. But yeah, man, you've been so right, like about all this stuff, man. Like I could feel it, I could see it, but having somebody go through everything and break it all down, like, man, that junk is so perfect, man. I appreciate you for that.
Listen, I appreciate you watching the content. Hopefully you're sharing this content with other people who don't know. But I want to be clear. I'm not extra special. I'm not super smart. I'm just super petty. And when I see this, I got to point it out.
Yeah, they've been misleading the community, man. Like, for real.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. All right, no, so on Fresh and Fit, is Fresh and Fit a podcast that you watched before? Were you familiar with these guys?
So all right, so I just got out the military. So, like, you know, everybody in the military, a lot of people are, oh, check this out, da-da-da-da.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll watch it, but I'm like, bro, these dudes corny. Like I can't even take nothing serious that they say because, like, I don't know, like, not even bragging, but, like, I've had women all my life. So it's like listening to them talk and looking at them and looking at how they carry themselves and looking at how they interact when you got a table full of women. You feel me? I've never seen them say anything smooth or charismatic or fly to not one lady that's sitting on the stage. So it's like you giving dating advice and it's people that are lost and they just believe in it. And so now you got this whole like them combined with everything else, it's like a whole toxic culture of just like everybody just bashing everybody. Like, man, that's crazy. It's crazy. I don't really understand how people look at it and take it serious, but then it just show you what people are though. So yeah, I like having somebody to really go through and actually break all of it down for that I can just, hey man, check this out. I appreciate that, man. But man, the game.
Listen, brother, I appreciate you. I got more people in the back, so I gotta let you go. But thank you so much for hopping on, and I appreciate it. Listen, I mean, it seems simple to me, but they're the ones that have over 1 million subscribers. So apparently they tapped in to something. They tapped into something, and it's working for them. All right, we got Mr. Lewis coming up, and then we got Reggie. So let me pull up Mr. Lewis. What's going on, Mr. Lewis?
What's going on, JT? Nice to meet you.
Yes, sir. Thank you for popping in, man. What did I get it right? Did I get it wrong? I want to hear from you.
Yeah, you got it right. But that's just one aspect of it. I just think that they playing with the culture, and it's kind of a waste of talent, to be honest. Because it's the people that come after them that's gonna bring this type of foolishness and try to make money off of it. To me, it kind of seems like a reality TV show, just taking up a notch.
Right.
It ain't really worth it. It ain't worth the camera that it's printed on. They should have made another way to make money. That's all I think about it.
Hey, listen, I appreciate you calling in. Thank you so much for giving your commentary on it. I mean, it's entertaining to people. They had over 1 million subscribers, but if you really want to look into their history and look at their expertise, you would see that these guys, I don't think they're experts in females, finance, or fitness, but they had a good run. Let me bring up Reggie. Reggie, what's going on? You're live on air, man.
Okay, yeah. Good to connect with you, JT. Like me and my wife, we love your show.
Thank you.
Your PPP loan stories had us in a chokehold.
All right, and those are not over. There's so many more PPP loan scams that I gotta cover. Trust me, those stories are gonna go on for the next 5 years.
Yeah,
But,
the IRS.
Fresh and Fit, what's going on?
Oh, so Fresh and Fit. I just got to say the Scamdemic 2020 has just given us just these terrible podcasts. The rise of fake gurus, because everyone was in the house. They had disposable income. Fresh and Fit being red pill weirdos who were just basically mocking the culture while trying to monetize it. These guys bring on impressionable young women. They then just spam red pill talking points. They clearly have no ability. They clearly had no ability to get women before the rise of the platform. Right. If anything, I think one of them was leveraging the platform to date women.
Yes, I saw that video. I saw several videos where he's basically saying, "Hey, if you come on the show, you come see me." It's almost, quid pro quo. You come. I mean, it's listen. You do what you gotta do. You leverage what you have, but don't then tell your hundreds of thousands and then it became millions of subscribers that you can teach them how to get girls too, unless you can also teach them how to have $1 million podcast. I don't think you can teach them how to get girls.
I mean, that's every fake guru. How'd you make your money? Selling a course, selling a lifestyle. You didn't have the lifestyle until you sold the course on how to get the lifestyle. It's like a snake eating its tail. And the worst thing about Fresh and Fit is that they talk about high value men. They don't tell men how to be high character men, how to find a wife, how to cultivate a relationship with a woman, how to actually be a good husband, how to be a good man. They think the power of a man is found between the legs of a woman. And I think that's the saddest thing about them and people who think like them. They don't see, they're not building character or about building community. They're all about getting laid.
Yeah. And the crazy part is, like, how can they teach someone to build a strong, lasting relationship with a woman when they don't have strong, lasting relationships with women. I mean, it's ridiculous. Like it does not make sense. Once again, these are life coaches that are, well, apparently Walter Weeks said that he was 20 years old about a year or so ago. That article was from 2021.
I do not believe him. It's like buying a fitness course from DJ Khaled. It's like, I don't believe you. I do not believe you.
There's no way. Listen, it is what it is. I don't know. Maybe in Barbados, that people age differently. But
yeah, maybe they lost the papers.
He had a rough life.
Yeah, you know, I mean, because he looked like he had a rough life for 20.
Oh, for 20, that's a tough go.
That's a tough
go for 20, man.
He clearly seen some things.
He's seen a lot of things. Listen, bro, I appreciate it. Thank you, Reggie, so much for coming up, man. You're welcome back anytime. I got to get to these other callers, but man, I appreciate you. Listen, all right, we're gonna get through all these calls. We're at an hour mark now, so we got 30 more minutes before the pocket watcher goes to bed. So here we go. We got Citizen Jane, we've got Conrad, Ralph, D, Omar, Jabril, Dale, and Abo in that order. So here we go. We got Citizen Jane, I believe it is. How you doing? All right, you're live on the air, going once. All right, got stage fright. Here we go. We got Ralph, Conrad. Sorry, Conrad. Conrad, you are live on the air. What's going on?
Hey, what's going on, JT? Can you hear me?
Yes, sir. Go right ahead.
All right, man. I've been checking in to your show for a little minute now. I came over from Spencer Cornelia, but I just want to give a little input on that Fresh and Fit situation, man.
Please do.
Those guys, they cornballs, man. I've been talking to a couple of my fellas since like 2020 when I first heard about them. I even had a conversation with a dude who know them, and he really tried to debate me that they had some valid points and stuff like that. And I just used to be like, yo, like, it don't matter like how valid some of their points are. At the end of the day, they mission and they statement and what they land down to the internet, it's something like the last dude said. They selling sex and they selling how to get in between these women's legs. They not selling no characteristics. They not telling men how to be men. They not talking about chivalry. And I don't even think they really talk about real businesses for real. So this is a crazy thing out here, dog. Like, and if you tuning in today's show, you need some real help for real, cause it ain't too hard to pick up ladies out here now. All you gotta do is have a bit of character, and you gotta kill the stage fright a little bit. You know what I'm saying? And then you gonna be good, man. Don't be listening to no. You can look at them and see that they lame, dog. Like, come on, man.
Yeah, listen,
that's all.
I come from the world. I remember a world where when you wanted to date someone, there was no DMs. Now, I'm not trying to date myself. I'm not super old. But when I was in middle school, high school, and for a good part of college, DMs were not a thing. You had to walk up to a girl, talk to her, be in her face, right? Ask for the number. And when you didn't get the number, you had to take that lonely walk back to the lunch table with all your friends, and you had to eat it. That builds character. Most of these guys, listen, man, y'all cowards.
Man, they scared.
Y'all want to be able to DM and all that stuff because no one knows. See, when you get rejected in the DM, basically all that happens is you see that they read the DM and they didn't reply. You don't have to walk back to the lunch table and eat it like a man, take it on the chin and move on to the next one. You take all of your losses in silence like a punk. You got to actually attempt and get out here, man, and work. Now, I've been out of the game for quite some time. Let me not speak as if I know how it goes. I married my college sweetheart. I was married at 22 when we graduated. So I have no idea. Don't come to me for dating advice. But I will tell you this. If your game is creeping into someone's DMs, I do not believe you
Hold on, JT. I'm going to be real with you. I'm in a generation where we use DMs to get by a little bit. And I'm going to be real. I don't use DMs here and there. But I'm not opposed to walking up to a woman and speaking to her face to face. You feel me? Because I'm not scared of rejection. I was scared when I was a shorty, but that built a lot of character, like you said. And you know, I'm able to accept that. I'm a grown man and things happen.
The worst they can say is no.
Absolutely.
And if they say no, guess what? You're in the same spot that you were before. No different. You're the same exact person. When they say no, it's the same thing if you kept your mouth shut the whole time. So it is what it is. Hey, thank you, Conrad, for coming up. I appreciate it. I'm getting through these calls because I want to go to bed tonight at a decent time. So we got Ralph, D, and Omar in that order. So here we go. Let me bring Ralph up to the stage. What's going on, Ralph?
How you doing? Can you hear me, EJT?
Yeah, you sound a little far away. You might want to get a little closer to the mic, but go right ahead.
Are you able to hear me now?
Yeah, that's better.
Okay. So I just wanted to say this. Fresh and Fit can be summed up like this. The two biggest emasculated men teaching other emasculated men how to be alpha males, which is the weirdest thing to me. Right. But I'm a disagree with you a little bit.
Go ahead.
I don't think Fresh and Fit having bad business took them out. I think that was part of a whole thing. But if it was just bad business alone, a lot of the other channels that you've been exposing, which you did a fantastic job exposing, they would be demonetized also. But I think with them, it was just a whole combination of things where YouTube just said that we can't be in line with you anymore and cut their ties. That's what I think. But you wasn't off the ball on that. That was definitely one of the biggest factors, having bad business.
You know what? I agree. I think it's a 50-50 deal, because I feel like if you had good business sense, you wouldn't be aligning yourself with people who your business partner already kicked off the platform. To me, that's a common sense business thing. But when it also comes down to the type of things that they were doing, because the other fake gurus that I talk about, they wouldn't have done that. Now, they do other things that are dumb, but aligning yourself with someone that the business, I mean, that's something that they do to a fault. The other fake gurus, they create little cliques and groups, and they'll let you know, you can't hang out with this person. We're blackballing this person, so they don't get to go to Invest Fest. They don't get to go to Recession Proof Con or whatever they call it. It's like a good set of 8, 10, 15 people who all go to each other conferences. They all go to each other's podcasts, and when you get blackballed, they all leave you alone. So no, I think it's about 50-50. I appreciate you coming up, Ralph. Thank you so much. Shout outs to everyone with the super chats. I appreciate it. Coming up next, we got D. D is live on the air. What's going on, bro?
Hey, what's up, JT? How you doing?
I'm doing great, man. Thanks for calling in.
Hey, I just want to tell you, you and Eli, man, you guys, Tony the Closer, you're doing a great job. Like, I'm originally from Philly, so I can identify how Tony and them feel, man, because it's sad that a lot of people fall for what they see in front of them instead of doing their own research and finding out. Now, me personally, I'm not a trusting person with online people, man. I had to really know that you're a solid person,
right?
And I just can't put my money out just not knowing who my money is in somebody's hands, and it's out of my control now. And now I'm trusting that they're gonna do right, because you don't know what. I've seen people in the past, because I'm in a little bit of a sort of a construction world. And I've seen guys who are great businessmen, but their young ladies were indulging in things that was crazy, and it brought their business down. So sometimes it's a matter of, like, I'm not giving none of these guys a scapegoat at all, but
right,
I think the success level of the attention went to their heads, and they realized, you know what? If I could blow this money over here, everybody else who getting fooled gonna come back, hoping that they win a big score. Then they gonna throw in something. But the sad part is, some of these people, I wasn't gonna say some, a lot of them couldn't afford to lose, and now they all jammed up. And it's sad, man. It's sad because you got some people that will hurt you out here over things like this, or they'll hurt somebody that you care about, because they desperate. You know what I mean? And it's people don't think, man. You know, Fresh and Fit, when he made that sort of like a gorilla kind of
Right. Yeah.
action in his video, now people could construe that as he's making fun of mentally challenged people, but some people took that as a racial comment. And you know, people can do things like, look, I'm black. People have said a lot of things that was like indirect racist, and you know what? I snap back at them, you know, by commenting about something, and I don't try to make it into a physical thing, you know, unless they go there. But you know, you try to keep peace. But if you can't, if you dish out something, be able to take it back. And these guys who have conned people out of their money, you know, Fresh and Fit, I think more what they did was they were trying to broker in how to be a pimp kind of attitude. That's kind of basically what it was, you know, and it backfired. It backfired with an indirect accusation of them saying something or kind of making a gesture, and it wasn't cool what they did. But you know, they got so cocky that they thought I'm untouchable. You know, YouTube just want the views, and that's what they thought. But YouTube don't need them. There's plenty of people coming up. There's plenty of them. But I just want to thank you, man, for what you're
Yeah, I
doing,
mean,
because
and that's a great point. I got to move on, D. I appreciate you coming up, but that's a great point, because some people are saying, "Oh, YouTube is going to bring them back because YouTube's going to miss the money." That's not how this works. See, YouTube, they're going to get those views no matter what. See, if they no longer make videos on YouTube, very few of their subscribers are going to go over to Rumble and watch them. They're going to stay on YouTube, their subscribers, and their subscribers will just watch other videos, and their subscribers will just donate to other content creators. So instead of getting maybe 1 million views and $5,000 from one Fresh and Fit, it's going to be split up on different videos and different content creators. But people don't normally leave YouTube, man. And that's why they were so hurt about the demonetization. YouTube ain't sweating it. YouTube are still going to get the views. They're still going to get the AdSense money from other content creators, because people will just move on and find the next Fresh and Fit, find the next content creator that fills the void that they're leaving. YouTube does not need you. YouTube does not need me. That's not how this works. All right, let me see here. We got Omar in the building. What's going on, Omar?
Hey, what's up, JT? Can you hear me?
Yes, sir. Go right ahead.
Hey, so I honestly I don't feel like I truly agree, because I feel like we do need their content in a sense of where our generation is going. Like I'm a younger 20-year-old and study finance, and it's a different ball game now. Like especially when you have individuals on dating apps and things like that. Like it's not how it was back in the day. It's more of a physical appearance type of thing. Like, and then even if you look at the statistics of it, like most young men today, like most of them are single. Majority of them are virgins. Like it's a different ball game. But I will say though, I didn't like the fact that, because me being a finance, like studying finance, I didn't like the fact that they started to teach finance, because that's not something that you should do unless you're qualified in that. But yeah, that's just my standpoint on it.
All right, well, hold on. Don't go anywhere, Omar. I took some notes and I got a couple follow-up questions. Now, this is not a back and forth. I just got a couple of questions for you. So I do admit I've been out of the game for quite some time, right? Quite some time. I was married at 22. But you said that nowadays it's more about the physical appearance, I believe you were saying. Was that the point that you're trying to say, that people are more superficial about the appearance? Is that right?
Correct. Think about it like this. And we live in a world where if someone is on, and like back in the day, like typically you would date someone in your hometown, or like you're saying, like you'll go to college and you'll meet someone. Now, if a girl has an Instagram, or you know what I mean, like, well, let's see like this: if a girl has an Instagram, she's attractive, like, she's able to kind of push herself out there for other individuals from different locations to pursue her. whether it's someone with a blue check mark or not. Like, you just have that opportunity now.
There's more competition. I think that's what you're trying to say. There's more competition, right?
Yeah, more competition, more opportunity. So you're able to push yourself out there more.
All right. Here's the part that I'm not connecting with just yet. Here's the thing that gets me. See, when I was in the dating scene, right? I'm talking about middle school, high school, first year of college or whatnot. Catfishing wasn't a thing, right? You actually knew the person. You saw the person. You didn't have a picture that was heavily filtered with all of this. You walked up to them. You shook their hand. You talked to them. You try to make a joke. See, there's always going to be competition. I feel like as if the technology has made, yeah, there's competition. But listen, girls who are 9s and 10s, listen, you're not going to get a 9 or 10 when you're a 3 or a 4 just because you're in a small town. That small town is going to have a guy who's going to be competition against you. Just because the world opening up is actually better for you, right? Not just you, Omar, but you, anyone who's watching this. Because the world is now open and you can go on Facebook and go on Instagram and you can get into groups of like interest, right? So if you're a person who likes a particular sport or you like a particular activity, you are not limited to the 5 girls that are within your area who also like that activity and also are within your range of a girl that you can get, right? Just imagine a young black man who's a nerd, who likes comic books and whatnot. How many girls in the 1990s around him that, no, you can press a couple of buttons and you will find thousands of girls who like anime and stuff. So I think it kind of evens itself out both in competition and both in availability of people who are within your range, because I do believe there is certain range things. I mean, it is what it is. You can't walk around and self-identify as a 5 and expect you get a 10 just because you want a 10. Wanting it is not enough. You must qualify yourself for the position. But that's the way I look at it. Thank you, Omar. I appreciate it. We got Jabril, Dale, Abo, then Eric. We pushing through these, so here we go. Jabril Shabazz in the building. What's going on?
Peace. What's good? Man, thank you. I'm calling out of Detroit, Michigan.
Yes, sir.
Familiar with Tony the Closer? This my approach. So yeah, I was watching the guys and I was really intrigued and appreciate the psychology aspect of men and women relations. That's really important. Them meeting and talking with girls in person, like it's like a training school for a lot of young guys who hide behind a computer screen. But I kind of fell out interest with them. They had a model, I think she was Latin or kind of black or something like that, a little older, and she exposed Myron for working for the FBI. Like he used to work for the FBI or something like that.
Yeah, it was Homeland Security, but the government got you.
Okay, Homeland Security. That seems a little better, but I mean, it's still the people that's tapping our phones. So like, but that kind of gave me like it made me kind of like squint and raise my, raise an eyebrow, like what's really going on here? And I mean, like, Myron isn't natural. I seen him get his hair together in the waves and all of that stuff on the final video, but naturally, Myron is not the best looking guy. Fresh, I guess he's not the best looking guy either, but his demeanor and his just self-control and composure allows him to be like base level acceptable, and I also peeped that it seems like they come from a vendetta. It seems like Myron is coming from a vendetta of maybe just not being chosen enough growing up. Or whatever.
Like he was hurt. He was hurt at some point in his life, and it's like he's trying to get a little revenge. But before I let you go, I got a follow-up question, because you said that you liked the way that they would meet girls, right? I've watched a few episodes. What girls were they meeting?
Oh no. I was saying that for the audience's view, me personally, I don't care. Like I said, the psychology aspect is what intrigues me, but the interacting with a woman aspect is probably what intrigues a lot of young guys or older guys who just aren't comfortable meeting women in person.
Now, I have another follow-up question because
yes, sir.
I watched a few episodes. It's not like, oh, JT, you watch one bad viral video. No. I watched a few episodes.
You do your research.
Yeah. So I watched a few episodes. So I've got a question about the interactions, right, with the females. For the audience, do you believe that being able to recruit mid to very pretty girls in nightclubs in Miami to come on a very popular podcast
there you go.
and then have a conversation from the perspective of podcast host to guest, do you think that's a realistic setup for someone at home to watch and say, you know what? That's how I'm gonna talk to girls because that makes sense. That's not the regular power dynamic of speaking to a woman.
It's not adaptable.
It's not a TV show where you're a guest on my show and that's not how it works. Like, listen, you gotta get in their face. You gotta talk. You gotta check your breath. You gotta make
be
sure
a
you
human,
don't have dirt under your fingernails. You gotta be able to tell a joke. You gotta, there's things that you have to do. I didn't see them do any of that. They're sitting from a position of I'm the show host, kind of like you and me right now. This conversation is not a natural conversation. I am the show host. You are the guest. You speak when I give you the ability to speak. If I don't
that is
want
deep.
to speak, I will press a mute button. That is not how it would go down if you and I bumped into each other on the street and we had a conversation. So I feel as if this warped perception of, oh yeah, that's how you talk to a girl. And let's not forget, because once again, I did my research. Both of these guys have been caught / had to admit that they got their dates from sugar baby websites. For those of you who are
too young for that.
A sugar baby website is a website where women go on to say, this is how much you can pay to date me. That is not the average woman. So even their own personal relationships with women are warped. So I don't think that's a good example of how I don't think it's a good example of how someone who is having issues with relationships with women, by viewing that, it doesn't help. I believe it hurts. But hey, Jabril, thank you so much. I appreciate it. Coming up, we got Dale, we got Abo, Eric, Ben, V, John, Coco, and then MCTV, and then we're gonna wrap this thing up. So here we go. We got Dale in the building. How you doing?
JT, what's going on?
Sir.
Man, I appreciate all the work you've been doing, exposing these fakers. But I wanted to talk about, the fresh and fit as well. And I want to just say, the biggest thing, and I don't want to repeat what everyone else has said because you guys have done a good job of covering it, but we got to be more visible for these young men. They think that's reality. It's not. And the truth is, they are kind of corny. And the thing is, these young men think that's the reality in life. Once they get out of the house and get from behind those computers, they'll see that you can talk to women, you can have relationships, you can have a family. And it was to the point where I had to actually talk to one of my friends, her son. I had to ask him, I said, hey, you're saying all these things you want a woman to have, and bring to the table and all these things, but what do you bring as a man?
Right.
I said, can you change oil on the car? Can you change a tire? Can you jump a car? Do you cut your mom's grass? These kind of things, these young men are not learning, and they're putting all these expectations and things on women. It's crazy. We have to address that.
No, that's a good point. You know what that reminds me of? there was a TV series on MTV called True Life. Anybody remember True Life on MTV? It was like a documentary where you would follow a person who's going through a particular situation. I believe if you have Paramount TV, you might be able to watch this episode. But I watched this when it was live. It was MTV True Life, I'm Addicted to Porn. Now, in this particular episode of True Life, we followed several different guys who were addicted to porn. Here's the tragedy. One particular guy who was addicted to porn, his relationship with women, it just wouldn't connect because his mind was so wrapped up in the fantasy world of adult entertainment that he didn't really understand how life actually worked in real life. I don't want to spoil the episode for you, but most of you aren't going to watch it anyway, so I'm just going to say it. There's a scene where his friends are trying to take him out to a regular club, a regular night spot. And he's attempting to walk up to women and he's attempting to talk to them. And, you know, they're not responding the way that he wants. And he's like, man, I got to get out of here, man. I don't like this. So where does he go? He goes to a strip club because his mindset is he should just be able to touch a girl's hand. And all of a sudden she's all over him, giving him a lap dance because that's where his mind was. He's in a fantasy world. I feel as if Fresh and Fit, either they live in a fantasy world if they actually believe the stuff that they're saying. I kind of don't believe that they believe it. I think they know it's fake. But I think their audience, they're getting sucked into this imaginary world where, you know, this relationship with women and you're dictating things and da-da-da-da-da. That's not how it goes, man. And they're going to be disappointed when they face reality. And that's just not how it is. And they're setting themselves up for failure. They need to get out of their mom's basement, clean themselves up, take a few L's, ask a few girls out. You are going to be turned down. That's just how averages work, but someone's going to accept. Then you're going to have to fumble of how a real date works and all of this stuff. It's trial and error. If you are afraid of failing, you absolutely will never succeed. Everyone who has success in life, they had failures in the early stages. That's just how it works. All right, we got Abu. I think Abu, you're live on air. What's going on?
Hi, JT. I am from South Africa. I'm enjoying your show. I'm a new study here. Basically, what I want to say and comment with regards to this Fresh and Fit situation, and also based on, I think, the previous last two callers, is that the future is doomed, you know, if we're really basing it on what was, you know, really, you know, made as points by, I think, Omar and the one that came after Omar. Because if we think about it, you know, if they are looking for inspiration, you know, from people such as, you know, the Fit and Fit show, it means that, you know what, we need to really look out for our young children, our young boys, and find a way, you know, to how can I say, to check in with them, to ensure that, you know what, they understand that, you know, self-love is very important, because without the self-love, you know, you will find yourself raising narcissistic young men later in life that have nothing better to say about women, you know, looking down on women, seeing women as nothing but absolute objects. Because what I could pick up from that show, I'm not a regular, I don't really, you know, watch their shows, but from the episodes that I did watch, you know, what I picked up is the fact that they are very, very condescending, you know, in a sense that they think very highly of themselves, you know. you could say that they are, suffering from narcissistic personality disorder, because when I looked up the meaning of narcissistic personality disorder, it says, and I'm reading it from the definition on Mayo Clinic. It is a mental health condition in which people have an unreasonably high sense of their own importance, and that is something that I picked up. And secondly, they need and seek too much attention and want people to admire them, which is also something that I picked up. Now, people with this disorder may lack the ability to understand or care about other people's feelings, which is, yes, something that I also picked up. And not only that, people with that type of behavior, you could tell that they maybe suffered at a younger age, as somebody also pointed out, whether they were bullied, whether they were rejected by women, whatever the case might be. So all of that, it's just a projection of what they experienced in the earlier years, and now it is being, projected, because now they are the high value men, as they put it.
Right.
But this is merely based on the fact that, they've now acquired all of this attention, fame, money, and they feel that they can do that. In a nutshell, what I'm trying to say is, if this is what the young people are looking up to, then I can truly say that, social media is truly destroying the youth. Because now, I'm a mother to 2 boys, and I'm actually very scared if that is what the future is looking like.
Now, and listen, thank you for calling. I appreciate it, and I completely understand what you're talking about. But I wouldn't be too afraid. I wouldn't be too afraid, because at the end of the day, it doesn't work, right? That's what I always fall back on. It doesn't work. Yes, they're gonna look at these guys and say, "Yeah, that's how you talk to women. That's how you put them in their place." Yeah, and okay. Go ahead and try that out. Go ahead. Give it a shot. Do you have $1 million podcast? Are you internet famous? Because if you don't have $1 million podcast and you're not internet famous, that's not going to work. And honestly, that's not even working for them right now. I don't believe either one of them have a real relationship right now. Even with the money, even with the clout. They don't have the relationship I have. Right? I ain't got the money like that. I ain't got the clout like that. Even with all the material stuff that they gained from that podcast, they don't have what I had. And I got this when I was 22 with no money. So I wouldn't be too afraid. You just got a lot of kids who are going to be disappointed when they find out it doesn't work. But other than that, we're going to move on to something else. People will realize it's BS. We got Eric in the building. What's going on, Eric?
Oh, good evening. No, thank you for taking the call. Just wanted to chime in with a couple. No, because the market, right? That they use that term a lot. I mean, I'm a trained auditor, so I actually saw a couple of their, previous videos and whatnot too. But there's no real insight. There's no. Yes, no, it doesn't work. So. But again, there not being any insight, of all the stats they talk about, what's the one stat that they could talk about? Well, look, guys that feel jilted by, not being able to get girls, let's say 0.001% of all the women in the world hate you, just can't stand you. And there's how many women in the world? There are about 3 billion, let's just say. That's still a pretty good chunk. There's about 30,000 women that are still out there that could potentially like you. You never hear any of that stuff. So here we go on, the Pocket Watcher show, but I wouldn't call them a grift. They're chasing a market, And, you know, there's a big market for this kind of stuff. You know, I heard people say like, yeah, that Kevin Samuels, I've heard that name, and people like him. You know, hey, people are very frustrated, you know, not sure how to approach people, you know, especially as human beings. Has things changed or a bit different? Well, yeah, getting girls or talking to girls are a lot different in the sense that, you know, your granddad and probably my granddad, because it's a whole lot different dynamic. Yeah, women are actual human beings. So that's the other thing. So, but we all go, Lord knows I've been there. You know, you always, you know, think, well, that's how you talk to girls, and you see a reality, a lived reality, you know, IRL, right, where it does work. But see, then you find out that you shouldn't do that, and hopefully you see somebody else do it that goes horribly wrong, where they, I mean, beyond humiliated kind of thing. But you got to like the irony, though, right? Because, well, they treat women like objects, but see, they themselves are the object. They're the wallet. They want to be the wallet, and it's relationships are very transactional with those kinds of people. And I think at least the kids today, because I got younger cousins, you know, they see that for what it is. I mean, I think they see it the way we used to see it. And what, you know, look, there's a reality that they want you to believe. They want you to, again, it's an image they're selling. That is purely what it is an image. But then there's the lived reality of every day that, you know what, this stuff is cute. It may get you like attention, but you know what, if there's nothing genuine, if that's it, you know, done. So, you know, it's like the mailman. Mailman brings me good stuff, but I don't mean I go follow him around.
Now, listen, I do want to, I got one follow-up, because you said you said you don't feel like it's a grift, you know, they're chasing a market. And you know what?
Sure.
I would agree, other than this. If it was just a show, right? They're chasing the market and they're doing the show, okay. But that course,
yeah,
that's what made it a grift to me, because there's no way that they really have expectations that they could get anyone who buys that course and teach them how to get 9 and 10s IG models to not only, you know, be able to date them, but the IG models are going to be reaching out to them. There's no way that I believe that they actually believe that they can get a guy to get IG models to be DMing. There's no way. That's where it becomes the grift to me.
And I can see that. I definitely, and I think that it's the different level, but you know, again, 100%, because yeah, what's an actual con? Has something that's, you know, hey, I got this tank of air that I'm going to say is something else, and you know, I'm going to sell you water when I was supposed to sell you salad oil or something like that. You know, I could see that. I mean, so okay, no, I actually I like that. So hey, you know, harsh, okay, sure, but is it true? Well, truth hurts.
It is. Listen, Eric, thank you so much for coming up, man. I appreciate it, man. You have a great weekend. And we're getting through these calls, people. We're going to get through these calls. No new callers. Moderators. Listen, please, moderators, let them know. No new callers. I got a real life. Listen, I love this show. We're trying to get to 100,000 subs, but I'm not a YouTuber. I'm a financial advisor that's extremely petty. And I like to do this for you guys, but I got to go to bed at some time. So listen, we have 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm gonna let a couple of you new people on. I make notes on who was the last person, but Angela, David, and Java, you're the last 3. V Ben, John, Coco, and MCTV, you were the original last ones, but I'm gonna add Angela, David, and Java. If anybody comes up after Java, I'm sorry, you're not getting on tonight's show. So let me get Ben in the building. Hold on, let's get it. All right, Ben, you're live on air. What's going on?
Hey, how you doing, JT?
I'm doing good, man.
Can you hear me okay?
Can you hear me? Yeah, go right ahead.
Yeah. So I didn't hear you cover this. So in my opinion, the reason why they got demonetized was because they beefed with Abba and Preach and lost. What happened was,
I don't believe that. I didn't get that narrative. I mean, they didn't specifically say why they got demonetized, but based on my experience being a partner with YouTube and other YouTubers that I know who are partners with YouTube. They broke the guidelines of a YouTuber. With one, they were platforming people who YouTube deplatformed, meaning YouTube had already established that they didn't want certain people on their platform. They want them on the platform. Yeah, among other stuff, obviously, offensive content, but I mean, any content. I'm sure the fake gurus who watch my content says that, you know, my content is offensive to them. But among other things, they broke the guidelines. I don't know about the beef with Abba and Preach. That was a part of it because they did things that kind of broke those guidelines, but I don't think it was just that one thing.
Yeah, I think that first of all, someone referenced when MYRON was making the gorilla gestures. That was specifically towards Preach. They were specifically going in on Preach. Also, they went on Sneeko's Rumble show. MYRON did. They did a hit piece on Preach where MYRON was wearing a white hood and doing the Nazi salute and slurred him multiple times. And for me, when I saw that, when Abba and Preach covered that, I was like, yeah, that's going to be the straw that broke the camel's back, because once that gets back to YouTube that they're doing that and they get the negative press that there's these YouTubers that's out here doing that, that was going to be it. So it took them a minute, but for me, I think that's what tipped the scales over the edge, and YouTube was like, no, we got to get these guys off.
No, that's a good point. It reminds me of this. I got to let you go because of all the other callers, but I appreciate it, Ben. It reminds me of this, right? I'm sure you guys heard of a story of some professional athlete who did something stupid, not on the basketball court, not on the football field, but they did something stupid on their own time away from the sport. But they either got suspended, fined, or even banned from the sport because of something stupid that they did, even though they weren't actually playing the game or in the locker room when they did it. That's the dynamic of partnerships, right? It extends beyond just you being on the platform. If you do something that hurts my brand as a partner, even though you didn't do it technically in the partnership, we still got to part ways. That's why I come back to they don't understand business, because if they cry and complain, I wasn't even on YouTube when I did this. It doesn't matter, right? It's like, you should have read the contract. All right, let's see. We got V Ben Israel in the building. Let's go. V Ben Israel, you're live on air. What's going on?
JT, my brother, how you doing tonight, man?
I'm doing good, man. What's going on?
Oh my God, man, you hit me with the lunchroom story, because I did a similar one about a year ago on my channel, and I said that, you know, you always had the weird kids sitting at that lunch table by themselves. You know, you had the athletes at one table, the cool kids at another table, and then you had that table with them unknown kids. Guess what happened to them? They grew up. So that now they found niches for themselves in the manosphere, and they're reinventing themselves. So now for the first time, they're getting exposure to girls in their 30s or their late 20s, and it's new to them. And that's what I heard when I heard him tell that crazy story. I kind of dissected it the same way you did. I'm like, what? What is this? This is fantasy. But I mean, but just that, you know, he was so fascinated that, I got 3 girls in one day. I did that in junior high school, dude. Really? Are you serious? Really? Like you, I was married 20 years. I'm divorced now, but I mean, Jesus. Yeah. But to them, it's brand new. And you see that with athletes too, because you figure out, you know, especially these non-star athletes, they've been in the gym all their life. They weren't out hanging out. So now they got a little bit of money. They want to go to the clubs. They're getting that.
Zion Williamson.
Exactly.
Zion. Great.
And which other boy that got in trouble before Zion?
Morant?
Yeah, Morant. Yeah. So I mean, this has always been the case with athletes. Nothing is new under the sun, the word says, you know, and I get tired of these young guys also coming on here, a few callers back. Oh, it wasn't like that back in the day. You weren't here back in the day, so you don't know. It was like this back in the day. It's the same thing. Nothing. We had social media, but guess what? We didn't rely on it. They think social media started with them. We had social media in the 90s.
Right.
It was called GeoCities and Yahoo Messenger. It wasn't advanced as now, but we had it. You know, but I think a lot of these guys, especially in the manosphere, they hear things and it resonates with them, and then they want to become experts because of what they heard, not because of what they actually did.
What they actually did. Yes. Yes.
And I get on panels.
That's the exact vibe that I'm getting. These guys, they heard something and it sounds good. Right? It sounds good. And they're like, okay, bet. But then they're gonna, take it and spin it like that's their life. That's not your life. We know that's not your life because that's not reality. And even if it is reality for an NBA star, that's not your reality. Just because something is possible for some other person does not mean that it's probable that it's going to happen to you. You have to live your life. If you're trying to live through and you're upset, imagine me, right? I'm upset because I can't do a 360 dunk, right? I'm upset. My whole life, I'm upset at the fact that I can't. Like, listen, man, you're wasting a whole lot of time worrying about something that you do not have control over. And because you're so focused on the gifts that God did not give you, you're ignoring the gifts that God did give you. And you're wasting your life.
No doubt.
These guys are worried because they can't get IG models and women in the adult entertainment industry. And they're ignoring all of these other women who do like them, that are pretty, but they're not, IG models, and they're not, prancing around in, bikinis all the time. They're not twerking on IG all the time. But I tell you, you meet some of these girls and all of a sudden you take that sweater off, you'd be surprised. So it's just, I don't know.
You hit it on the head when you pointed out the guy who was desensitized because of the porn. They did the same thing to themselves. Their success in this space desensitized them to reality. So now again, they're getting access, and that's why all of the women that they bring on are from a certain crowd. Right. They're from that crowd. They're not regular women. They're unordinary women to begin with that they have access to because those women. Basically, they're groupies. They tell them dudes, hey, if you get some money, this is how you pick up groupies. That's what they're doing. And it's an uneven power dynamic, as you pointed out earlier.
Yeah.
It's crazy, man. But you got so many of these guys, like I said, then they get on, they run around the manosphere and they think, oh, I could talk to women like this. And they get on these panels and these girls eat them up. These girls eat it, and then they're shocked. Why are these girls now I'm going to get my passport and run overseas because I can't talk to women. Now, I'm not against passport bros, but I'm against dudes that are socially awkward, and they've been socially awkward. You going overseas isn't going to change that.
Right, because at that point, it's just a financial transaction. That's all it is. It's a financial. If you have no game, and when I say game, listen, I'm not that dude. I've never been that dude. But if you are unable to hold a regular conversation and be able to pick up on likes and dislikes and little social cues, you only get that through trial and error. That's the love of the game, man. That's the love of life. The problem that most people have, and B Ben, thank you so much, my brother. And you got a channel, right?
Yeah. You can search me on YouTube. V-Ben Israel. I'm the People's Podcast.
All right, my brother. I'm gonna swing by there and check you out. Thank you for calling in. But I want to get this point across before I get to these other callers. When it talks about the game of life, man, you gotta experience it, man. You gotta get out there and try. You gotta shoot some shots. Yeah, you're gonna miss, but you have to shoot some shots, and then you'll find out maybe you're not the best post player in the world. Maybe you're a smaller kid. You can't play post, but you can light it up from the 3-point line. But you don't know if you're sitting on the bench or sitting in the crowd, you got to play some, and you're going to lose. You're not going to win something that you've never tried before. You're going to lose the first time you try. But if you actually love the game, you're willing to go through the hard times of trial, error, getting your shot blocked, all of that stuff to the point where you figure out how good you are in your position, then you good. But I feel like they're aborting the process of finding out who they are and what position they can play in the game of life. I think that's their issue. All right, we got John in the building. What's going on?
Yo, JT, what's up, man?
I'm good, man. Thanks for calling in.
I appreciate your channel and exposing and being as petty as you are. I'm calling from New York. And how the way you hold these people accountable is amazing. Anyway, thank you for what you do. You don't have to do this. You obviously have a business, but you're so petty that you take the time out to expose these frauds. It's amazing.
That's it. I tell people all the time, my pettiness exceeds my greed. It's a character flaw. I admit it. It's a character flaw. I could make so much more money with this channel if I wasn't so damn petty. But it is what it is.
Love what you do, man. It's amazing. Keep doing your thing. I just wanted to get on. So, I wanted to address something that the last guy said, Ben. So he's talking about how like the lunchroom situation, and I got on the call kind of late, but I understand kind of what he's saying, like the lunchroom analogy, and you got the cute girls in one table, the corny kids over here, the nerds over here, the athletes over here, and that's interesting. It's an interesting dynamic. Now, to come like, okay, so Myron and Fresh, he's saying they're obviously the kids that were sitting in the nerdy table or whatever. And the point that I wanted to make, or the light that I wanted to shine, is that he's right. Those two guys are not guys that were getting girls when in high school. They're not. You could just tell. You can tell, right? Now, here's the deal. How many guys are actually getting, stuff in high school? Who maybe 5% of guys.
It's extremely small. And the issue is the same way that guys. See, I watch this content the same way that the guys, they complain, well, all the girls only want the top 10 or 20% of guys.
Forever.
Okay, all right. But turn the camera around. All the guys want the same 5 or 10% of girls. See, there's somebody for everybody.
But
the issue is you got the geeks who wanted the cheerleader. Well, the cheerleader was dating the football captain. Like, why aren't you looking at the girl who was in band? She's pretty. She's not wearing a skirt, but she's pretty. Talk to her. That I feel like that's another way that you eliminate yourself from the game. Guys are looking at the same 5 or 10% of girls and not looking at the other girls because, listen, man, either you're going to compete for them or you need to, find someone more on your level.
Right. But here's the deal, though. Like, when you're that age, when you're so young, right, in high school, you're trying to, learn this shit. Obviously, you have to perfect your game, right? You got to start somewhere. Some of these guys are not perfecting anything. They're not trying till like college, or I don't know what they're doing, right? I myself started like
some never do.
Some never do, and then they become upset and they get the red pill rage, and they figure I got the red pill rage when I was 12. I swear to God, like it was crazy. I saw some shit that I wasn't supposed to see, and before that, women were angels to me. Before that, women were angels. I used to think that women didn't fart. I thought they were perfect, because my father, he taught me, he's like, you respect women, you treat them nice, you get them gifts, you open doors, they walk in the inside of the street, not on the outside, right? That's how I was raised. I'm Hispanic, right? And so I'm like, okay, this is how you treat women. Then 12, 13, I saw some shit I wasn't supposed to see from adult women. I'm like, holy shit, what happened? And everything just changed, right? I was such a good little kid, but I was like, yo, these women do not like good little kids, man. They don't want you to be nice. And anyway, that shit happened a long time ago, but it's true to this day, man. You see me. I'm not on camera for everybody, but you see
Right,
me.
yeah, I can see it, yeah.
Okay. I was a nerd up to like 12, bro. I had to switch it all up because I think this space that Myron and Fresh got, right, it's important because there's a lot of men that are lost, man. They're lost, and they might not be the leaders. I think Kevin Samuel, may he rest in peace, he was much more elegant, much more eloquent. He spoke in a different way. He was supposed to be the one. He was the leader of these lost men, but unfortunately, he left us early. And the last message that I hold on to that he said, he was like, we have to. And I'm not black, I'm Hispanic, but it's the message that he said. I thought it was so deep because obviously, I'm in New York, so everybody lives here, right? I'm in Queens. I live around everybody, and he said, we as men cannot rely on no government, no handouts, no. We have to build ourselves up to become the men that these women will marry and that they want. And at 15, at 20, 25, these kids have not figured that out, right? I got my wife chose me when we were 18, and she stuck around forever. She went through all the bullshit and she stuck around. I always say she chose me because she never left. But I had to be worthy of being chosen. And I think these spaces are important because before Kevin Samuels, before Fresh and Fit, before all these manosphere people, right? There was nowhere where a man could go and
at least have the conversation, to hear the conversation.
You're old enough to understand, to know actually Patrice O'Neal, right? You probably watched this shit. Yeah,
Patrice O'Neal. For those of you who are unaware, Patrice O'Neal, top 5 comedian.
Yeah.
He was before his time.
He was a philosopher. He was not only a comedian. Like if people don't know, they got to go check him out. There's hours of him immortalized on YouTube.
Yeah,
listening to him, and it sounds like an old Irish lady. It's not. It's a 6-foot black dude from Boston. So anybody that thinks, oh, Patrice O'Neal, who is this Irish woman that's gonna know? His name was Patrice, but he had this message. The same thing that Kevin was saying, Kevin Samuels, the same thing that Fresh, he was asking questions to women, hard questions like, not what do you bring to the table, but why must I suffer for you to be happy? Simple questions like that, and women would just, it's for you guys got to check it out. But yeah, that's what I wanted to say, man. And I think these guys do need a space because there's guys that are lost out there. But I think that the message is correct. It's a little sometimes over exaggerated, but they do it for entertainment purposes. The racist shit gotta go. Myron, I think he grew up in Connecticut, and if you know anything about the East Coast, there's parts of Connecticut, especially maybe where he grew up, that's kind of like it's the rich white people from Manhattan. They buy the property.
Yeah, and you can tell. I mean, you can look at him, you can look at his skin tone and whatnot, and you can say he was probably bullied and talked about his skin because his skin. I mean, he's light, but he ain't white, and in that area, I'm sure he caught a little hell based off that, and that's just him projecting. But hey, John, thank you so much, man. I appreciate it. You're welcome back anytime. All right, listen, people. A lot of people are jumping on. I remember who the last caller is. So if you don't get on, don't be upset with me. You got on too late. All right, so we got Coco. Coco is in the building. What's going on, Coco?
Hello, good evening. How are you, JT?
I'm doing great. Thanks for calling in.
Good. My little one's awake on a Friday night. But I was calling because I wanted to talk about it from a different standpoint because my friend, her ex, got really caught up with Fresh and Fit. And they were together for 7 years, and his whole dynamic and how he spoke to her completely changed. It was, you're too masculine, you're not submissive, you should just, all women submit to their man, what's your price, because everyone has a price. So he completely, like once they broke up and he wanted to be intimate with her and she didn't want to, it was like, oh, what's your price? Everyone has a price. So
what's your price?
Because that's what they're telling, that women can be bought. So after 7 years of being with someone, and then after about a year or so, he turns to this. It's like, what's going on? And it's not just 20-year-olds that are getting caught up. He's 35 years old.
Okay, I got a couple follow-up questions because this is too crazy. So,
and she's gonna kill me. I sent her the live, so I was like, I hope I'm gonna call in and talk about it.
Right. So no names. We don't need any names. But from what you remember, how was their relationship before? Was their relationship already rocky, or like how?
She's younger than him. She's a couple of years younger than him, so it wasn't like, I'm not gonna say that it was, honey and sugar. But they had their moments, their ups and downs. But he wasn't how he is. Like the verbiage just wasn't there. That wasn't the verbiage.
It wasn't like they were on the edge of breaking up. This was like a whole new thing, and it was like, we're gonna split up after this.
Yeah, because she's been venting. She's like, I don't understand why he keeps calling me masculine. I'm too masculine. You're not submissive. And she's like, I don't understand where this is coming from. And then she told me, started watching this, and now seeing everything coming about, I'm like, oh, well, this makes sense. I didn't really know who they were until probably a couple months ago. So yeah, this is the
silliness to me. He was attracted to her and her mannerisms before. Otherwise, he would never got with her. It's as if his standards changed mid-relationship.
Not mid, towards the end, because it was 7 years.
Type of stuff.
Yeah, and it's like, hi. It's very much, you don't allow me to be. She painted her face. You don't allow me to be the man in the relationship. Yeah, she found a marker. But yeah, so that's what I wanted to talk about. The other side of it is not just younger generation that's getting caught up in this. It's also
in their mid-30s who got sucked
wasn't in that relationship and already had something going. They had plans of being together, getting married, buying a house, and now it's you're too masculine for me. You're not submissive.
Well, so, I mean, God bless him. I hope she's in a better relationship, and I hope he finds what he wants. But I'm telling you, this guys hit the wall too, and he might not find anything better. So
I mean, he's not a young cookie, so he's not a spring chicken. So he feels like he's told her too, and they were like on the breakup, he needs somebody that can value him as a man.
Real quick, before I let you go, you may not know the answer to this. How much money did this guy make? Like in general, what do you think?
So before, when they first started dating, he had just graduated college. He was doing Uber Eats. Then he started working. He works for the city. He is a social worker now. So
I ain't making no real money. That's all I need. A social worker. He
a social worker in New York City.
He's not making high value man money. I can tell you that right now.
Because I'm like, if he wants you to be submissive, he needs to stop. You don't have to be doing submissive. Like you have to. I don't have to be working, right? Or do anything if that's what you want.
That type of money. He making enough money to pay his bills, and if he got married, his wife would have to work.
She works. And on top of that, I was gonna make a point. I forgot. But yeah. Yep. That's right, he does overtime. It's a lot of overtime. That's what it is. He does
a lot of overtime there.
Overnight. So yep. So it's not like he's banking.
That's that. He is not high value. He needs to take a deep breath and relax. Thank you so much for calling in. I appreciate it. All right, we only have a couple of callers left. We got a lot of people in the back, but we only got a couple callers left. We've got the MC TV show. We have David, then we have Java. Everybody else, I'm sorry, but those were the last people. The last time I said it is it. I'll be back next week on another topic, but you can always call back in. So here we go. We have the MC TV show. What's going on, bro?
What's up, JT? I want to preface what I got to say with this. I played quarterback my entire life throughout college.
That's all I needed to hear right there.
And hold on.
This
I want to
guy
add the
right here,
context.
he lived a very specially treated life. The quarterback is the star. You're talking to a person that played tight end and defensive end. Quarterback is the star.
Okay, well, let
Hopefully
me
I
add
will
this.
never live the high school or college life that this man. Listen up. Listen to what he has to say.
I want to add this in there. So while I was the quarterback at this Division I college, I was also the president of my fraternity, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I think Fresh and Fit desired to create the perceived power dynamic, what they thought that was in that area.
Yeah.
With the dynamic they created on their show to a much extreme extent, right?
Right.
My other point is I want to commend you, creators like Orlando Minor, TLA, El Guapo, because people who are taking the time to win in real life, most of the time they don't have the excess time to create content on the side. And so people like Fresh and Fit get the microphone and they're the loudest.
Yeah.
And so we don't normally get perspectives like yours, reasonable people. And the last part is this. I think like both in life and business, you leverage whatever you feel is most in demand. And that's why they led with their wallet.
Great point. Great point. That's the best asset that they had. The thing that they were able to use to make themselves feel like they have value was their wallet. And they think that's how everyone else should act because that's their reality. Their reality is you want to be the boss, you want to tell a girl what to do. Okay, well, everyone else isn't making $1.5 million from super chats.
Crazy.
The average guy's not doing that. The average guy actually needs to, one, have value in yourself outside of how much money you have in the bank account and how closely you look like Will Smith or Brad Pitt. It's like, that's not reality, man. That's just not how life is. But thank you, bro. I appreciate you. You got a YouTube channel, I'm assuming, because it says the MCTV show. What's going on over there?
Yeah, so on the MCTV show, I talk about real estate and finance.
Gotcha.
Yes, sir.
Gotcha. All right, my brother. Thank you so much. I'm gonna check out your channel when I get some time. But like, if y'all never played football, you don't know the life this man had. He was the starting quarterback in high school and college. I could tell you, I got stories about how everybody on the team might have to do something. If the quarterback ain't feeling it, sometimes the quarterback ain't got to do it. Everybody, that's when you learn we're not equal. Everyone is not equal, okay? I can block, all right? But I cannot throw 40 yards down the field on a dime. So coach is going to treat us differently. That's just reality. And you are going to be treated differently by different people in life. Just figure out what value do you bring to the table and try to fit the best you can in life. All right, here we go. We got David and Java, and we're going to wrap this up. David, you're live on air. What's going on?
Hey, JT, can you hear me loud and clear?
Yes, sir. Go right ahead.
All right. You and I are the same age. Let me just add, I was a quarterback in high school, you know, so. No, but I was the backup. We were running that dumbass option offense, so I couldn't run for shit. I could throw it, though. I could chunk that bitch, though. But
you transferred, man. You should transfer.
In high school, nah, there was nothing we could do in high school. But I do want to say this. I think now I know that Fresh and Fit, they're grifters. In fact, it's a lot of grifters. I can name so many. Even people that weren't talking about this, they saw where the wind was blowing, and they started making channels about this stuff. But I will say this: you're looking at it from one perspective, but you're not. I don't think you're being honest. All of this right here, it's an overcorrection. It's an overcorrection. It's an overcorrection of the problems that have been festering for years. I think at least 3 generations now. I can say, as far as in the Black community, It's like bizarre world. Everything's upside down. I make good money, or I think I do. I mean, I don't feel like I'm a physician assistant, but
good money. It just depends on what type of debt you have, because I have some clients in that situation. I mean, depending where you are, you know, you're talking about between 85,000 to 160,000. It just depends on where you live and what type of lifestyle creep you got. But go ahead.
yeah. So this thing where you got guys where you had all these channels blowing up or whatnot. It was a problem for the longest time, as far as men or young men being able to, because you got to understand, there's a certain threshold. I mean, you're talking about, don't go out. No, guys aren't necessarily having to go after the IG models, but you have to be pretty. You have to be attractive, especially, I guess, the more. I mean, but on top of that, we're seeing attractive women get with guys that have nothing to their name. I can tell you, at my age, one of the regrets I have was, trying to focus on getting my life together. And I didn't, take that time to, try to formulate a relationship, because now it's nothing but trash out here. I'm going to be honest. It's really nothing out here. And I can see, where there was, how these guys came into effect. It was an overcorrection, but there is a problem. There is a problem as far as, the communication. I mean, you go out on, now everything's transactional. Let me say something. I literally worked with a travel nurse. She is now, I mean, I think she just recently blew up in on social media or whatnot, because she's a nurse, but she was into the sugar baby lifestyle. Ended up getting with this old white guy, and now they're beefing on the internet or whatever. The video just popped up, and I was like, "Yo, I know this chick." But this is what is out here. It's everything. They you work so hard to get somewhere, and I mean, I know women that are freaking 2 kids, 3 kids, and they still don't take their life serious. Yeah. So I'm just saying, like, and I hear from my married friends all the time. But no, my married friends do admit, like, hey, they wouldn't want to be out on this market. It is rough out here. So I'm just saying that all this was an overcorrection. Yes, it needs to. I mean, they all that stuff that they were saying, it's crazy. I mean, I never really watched it. I saw your video where you broke down the math of, I think, the black dude sleeping with 2,000. How it's impossible that he could have slept with that many women.
Duke Jackson, we the math of how it's probably impossible for him to have the body count they claimed. Yeah,
exactly. But I mean, CNN is even talking about it now, where the issues that young men are having, young men are sexless, this and that. I mean, it's coming to the forefront, and the only reason why the mainstream media is talking about it, because this is happening to white guys now. Black males have always gone through this. I mean, the smarter you are, and it's not even a question of, because you shouldn't gauge yourself on, are you sociable because you can't talk to women? Because no, I think there's a lot of guys out here that are functional, that are getting on in life, but just trying to have that conversation with women sometimes, it goes nowhere, and you're just like you're literally finding yourself having to dumb yourself down. I mean, I got so much I can say and talk about this subject, but I might be all over the place. But you gotta. This was all it was. It was an overcorrection. That's it. But it is bad out here. So it's not as if guys could should do this and do that. No, there's some culpability on account of the other gender.
Okay.
So.
All right. Listen, I hear you. Thank you for your call. I absolutely hear you. But it's like we always forget the other side of the coin. The same way that you can mention that, you know some women who have a couple of kids and they're not taking their lives seriously. I'm pretty sure that you can recall a few other guys in your life who have a couple of kids and they're not taking their life seriously. Because just think about it. If the woman has a couple of kids and are not taking their life seriously, they didn't have that kid in some sort of laboratory. They had the kid with some guy who was most likely in the same position as the woman. I'm in a privileged position. I work with real people. I have real clients. I get to see the dynamic of these relationships. And during the pandemic, I was surprised by how many divorces happened during the pandemic because they couldn't stand each other staying in the house that long. But the point that I want to make is it's on both sides. There are many women with an unrealistic idea of what their sexual marketplace value is. And there's a lot of guys who have an unrealistic picture of what their sexual value, market value is. Like you don't get one without the other. I sit back and I see a lot of eligible bachelors and a lot of other eligible women, and they're just not meeting up. It's not as if they, it's just, it's weird. But once again, hey, I've been out the game. Maybe I don't know. I don't know what I'm talking about. I'm married. I got married at 22, right out of college. Another point that I want to make is if you spend all this time working on yourself and your career, and then you get on, you are absolutely going to have a hard time finding your mate. I was able to find my wife while we were both young and we grew together. Right? I couldn't imagine trying to find someone now because they wouldn't know the real me. To know the real me, you've got to know the struggle, right? You struggle together and you appreciate each other. If you, oh, I got everything I need, and then I'm bringing you on as some sort of addition, I don't even see how that relationship works. All right, last caller of the night, Java. Java, you are live on the air. What's going on?
Hey, JT. It's actually Jova, but
Jova, I'm sorry, Jova, what's going on?
it's all good. Look, I know your social battery is getting low, so I'm just gonna, keep it short and everything. I'm just gonna say this. I'm glad that they are, not, they are demonetized. Because I mean, I would look at them back in the day and be like, wow, some guys are really thinking like this. Because I used to look at them, I'm like, yo, these dudes is cornballs. And I'm glad there was somebody else on the show that said that. Because if I say that, oh, you too masculine and da-da-da-da-da. And I even back in, around the time when they was just really hot, I will put up a status like, hey, if he listens to Fresh and Fit, red flag. Because it is. The way how they think is scary. Or like if I did give somebody the opportunity to talk to them a little bit in the DM, and the moment they ask me a foolishness, like not even okay, I won't say that this is a foolish question. People have a right to know if they want to know. But you're gonna ask me my body count and you don't even know who, don't even know me. So I would play.
You talking about before y'all actually met?
Right, yes.
Yeah, that's a little weird.
And not only so I would be silly at like 10,000. That's my body count, 10,000. Like whether I'm more, if I'm one more than you, it's gonna be a problem. It's gonna be 100 more than you, it's still a problem. So it's like there's no need to ask, that, or if I never gave any signals I was interested in you, so why would you ask that? But I mean, they was just really bad for the social media environment because you see people sharing their stuff all over the place, and you got people just regurgitating what you too masculine, you too mad. Look, I'm from New York. We can't help it. It is what it is. You like it, cool. You don't, peace. Over there.
And the thing about it is, if you're too masculine for them, you're probably just right for someone else.
That's what I'm saying.
That's just what it is. You just got to look a little harder to find the one that it is. But it's just, I feel like they want it so easy.
No.
They want to be able to pick up their phone, swipe a little bit, and find not only a knockout 10, they also have to have the personality that fits exactly what they want. And then they also have to be able to be submissive almost at all times. Like I wouldn't even like my wife if she was submissive all the time. Sometimes, but I let me make this clarification. I'm an asshole. But sometimes I'll say something or do something just to get a reaction because I sometimes I like that. You know, I'm a combat sport guy. You know, I like to get that back and forth. You know, as people can tell from the show, I like to argue. Arguing to me is a sport. Sometimes I just like to do it. I'll pick a fight just because I want to argue for a little bit, and then when it's done, it's done. So for most women, they couldn't take this. This would be like insane. But for my wife, it works. So you're gonna find the right person. And I'm not gonna say I'm happy that they're demonetized. I think what it shows is they were big on so-called women having accountability for their actions. This is accountability for their actions. It's like they feel entitled to be a part of this YouTube partnership. None of us on YouTube are entitled to have this partnership. If I was demonetized tomorrow, I would still make content because it's not about the money. But I do this in my spare time. I don't do this as like a full-time gig. So if this was my full-time gig, maybe it'd be a little different. But it's like they need to see the reality, right? They say women have to deal with the consequences of their actions. Well, they are literally dealing with the consequences of their actions. That's why they got demonetized, right? That's the reality. And if people want to follow in that footstep, well, look up and see what happens. That's what happens when you do that. Okay, either learn from it or follow in the footsteps and, end up with the same results. But listen, thank you so much. I got to read the rest of these super chats because y'all been super chatting since I last checked it out. So I may double up on some of these, but I'm gonna hit y'all up. So Michael, thank you so much. I appreciate it. Tony in the building, thank you so much. Deacon, thank you so much. We got Decodus in the building. Thank you so much. Antonio, thank you. Nathan, thank you. We got Big Sneed in the building. Thank you. I appreciate it. BPK, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Hey, we got beautiful lives in the building. One of the best voices on YouTube, bar none. He got one of the best voices. Go check him out. Free Wi-Fi in the building again. I remember you last time. We got Dave. Dave hit me up 2 times. Let me read this question. JT, your understanding of the world is wrong, brother. To understand Fresh and Fit, it requires a bit of traveling. Americans, I think he said Americans live in a bubble and have a false sense of reality. Hey, listen, maybe, Dave, but I do travel quite a bit. I've been around. I haven't been on the market in a long time, but I can tell you right now, listen, Fresh and Fit's perception of male-female relationships, that's not reality. If you think that's reality, you got some issues, bro. You got some issues. But better yet, maybe I'm wrong. Try it out. Try it out, Dave. How about we do this, Dave? You start a YouTube channel, and I want you to turn it into like a vlog, a personal vlog, and you take all of the dating and relationship tips that Fresh and Fit give and actually apply it in real life. Not to pay people to come on the show. No, real life. You go out in the market and talk to girls the way that they talk to girls and get dates and document it. You'll be the next Fresh and Fit. You'll have $1.5 million coming to you. But see, I don't think that's what it is. Now, Dave thinks I'm wrong. Okay. But see, I got this, Dave. And I've had this for over 16 years. I have a strong, real relationship with a woman for a long time. So, I think I'm right. But maybe I'm wrong. We got B. Hadley in the building. Thank you so much. And we have Joshua in the building. Thank you so much. Listen, I got to go. I'm tired. I'm going to go to bed. Thank you, guys. I'll have a show for you next Friday. Other than that, listen, the Pocket Watch is out. I appreciate each and every one of y'all who came through. Y'all have a great weekend. I am out of here. Let me click this here and go.
Need more? Book your personal consultation with my man JT at pocketwatcher.net.
Double check that. That's pretty good. Yeesh. Not crying, are you? Let's tighten that. And... Ooh. Wait, what was that? What? That? No, don't worry about that. Here we go.
Asking the right question can greatly impact your future.
Are you qualified to do this? What?
Especially when it comes to your finances.
Do you have a question?
Are you a certified financial planner?
Yes, I'm a CFP professional.
CFP professionals are committed to acting in your best interest. That's why it's gotta be a CFP. Find your CFP professional at letsmakeaplan.org.